In the quiet twilight of local legends, the mysterious tale of the Phantom Barber of Pascagoula unfolds. Situated in a time when whispers carried more weight than announcements, this eerie narrative captures both the imagination and the senses. Pascagoula in the early 1940s was a modest town with its share of secrets and superstitions. Against the backdrop of wartime uncertainty and shadowed alleyways, an enigmatic individual began to reveal a side of terror that transcended ordinary crime. The Phantom Barber, as he came to be known, was not just a harbinger of unease, he was an artist of intrusion. The mysteries surrounding the case were anything but ordinary. Women, in the privacy of their own bedrooms, awoke to find their hair mysteriously trimmed. No forcing hands, no violent break-ins, only subtle snips that spoke of a premeditated, almost ritualistic intent. The act, both unnerving and strangely precise, bred a unique kind of dread. As residents began to murmur in hushed tones at neighborhood gatherings, the legend of the Phantom Barber spread quickly, entwining modern horror with an almost folkloric character study. This narrative, rich with cultural and psychological intrigue, invites us to step into a world where the mundane collides with the macabre. Tonight, we delve into the heart of this unsettling mystery, exploring its historical origins, the chilling details of the encounters, and the lingering impact on a small, close-knit community. The story of the Phantom Barber is not merely a recounting of curious events, but a reflection on how fear can grip the collective conscience, altering lives and etching an indelible mark on a town haunted by both its past and its ghostly present. Set against the backdrop of World War II, Pascagoula was a town where everyday routines met the strain of global conflict and local hardships. The streets, lined with modest homes and bustling small businesses, offered a glimpse into a community both resilient and vulnerable. During the 1940s, the drama of war was not confined to distant battlefields. It seeped into every aspect of daily life. Families gathered around radios for news, and local newspapers competed for attention with sensational headlines about unexplained happenings. In this atmosphere, whispers of mysterious events found fertile ground among the anxious townsfolk. The unique social fabric of Pascagoula was woven with threads of tradition, superstition, and a strong sense of community. Residents held on to old customs even as modern influences began to creep into their lives. Despite the looming uncertainties, the town maintained a close-knit character where neighbors looked out for each other, and every unusual detail was viewed through the lens of shared experience and concern. Fashion and beauty held significance during these turbulent times, as personal appearance was seen as an emblem of dignity and self-respect. When the strange incidents of midnight haircutting began, it struck at the heart of this cultural value, amplifying the shock and dismay felt by many. Local authorities, already stretched thin by wartime responsibilities, found themselves puzzled by the nature of the crimes, which lacked the violence expected in more conventional break-ins. The story of the Phantom Barber emerged amid this intricate blend of optimism and dread. Eyewitness accounts, laden with emotion and ambiguity, painted a picture of an intruder who was as elusive as he was precise. The community's collective memory preserved each detail with a sense of urgency and disbelief, as if the barber were a supernatural force disrupting an otherwise orderly existence. The historical context of Pascagoula, with its mix of modern challenges and time-honored customs, rendered the legend of the Phantom Barber all the more compelling and enigmatic. Amid these historical layers, local conversations further fueled the mystery. Neighbors exchanged muted theories in shadowed corners, debating the existence of a secretive figure amid their daily struggles. Every whispered remark added depth to an already charged atmosphere. This climate of unease made the sightings of the Phantom Barber even more significant, embedding his legend firmly into the town's collective memory and cultural identity. These earnest discussions resonated deeply, intertwining tangible recollections with cherished folklore. Detailing the infamous exploits of the Phantom Barber, our narrative enters a realm of subtle horror. In the depths of night, when households lay asleep, a figure would silently intrude, leaving nothing but carefully clipped strands of hair as a haunting signature. The precision of each cut was both methodical and unsettling, suggesting an intent that defied the spontaneity of a mere prank. women awoke in confusion and quiet terror, their personal sanctuaries violated by an act that was neither overtly violent nor completely benign. The mystery of these midnight encounters sparked a rich tapestry of supposition throughout the community. Locals recalled hallways abruptly disrupted by the faint sound of scissors and the uncanny presence of an unseen hand, as if time itself paused in anticipation of the unexplainable. Although no conclusive evidence ever emerged, the consistent details in multiple accounts lent the phenomenon an air of deliberate orchestration. The Phantom Barber remains an enigma, a symbol of both vulnerability and the eerie unpredictability of human behavior, continuing to intrigue those who ponder over the blurred line between a harmless whim and malevolent intrusion. Investigations into the Phantom Barber's mysterious activities unfolded in a climate of mounting anxiety and perplexity. Local law enforcement, already burdened by wartime distractions, scrambled to piece together clues from the sparse evidence left behind. Their efforts were hampered by a lack of concrete leads and the uncanny consistency of the sightings. Amid the dim glow of post-dusk streetlights and murky reports from reluctant witnesses, detectives found themselves grappling with an enigma that challenged conventional investigation methods. Every cropped lock of hair, meticulously arranged and inexplicably perfect, hinted at a mind capable of both precision and the profound disruption of daily life. As cases accumulated, so too did conjectures among the town's residents and the investigative teams. Some proposed that the Phantom Barber was but a harmless prankster, an individual who sought merely to provoke alarm rather than commit an act of violence. Others, however, entertained the possibility that the hair-cutting episodes were manifestations of deeper psychological turmoil. Rumors of a solitary man, haunted by personal demons, forced into his bizarre vocation by a traumatic past, began to circulate alongside whispers of supernatural influence. Archival reports and local clippings painted a picture of an individual whose motivations defied simple explanation, leaving experts divided between rational deduction and eerie coincidence. Adding to the complexity, diverse theories emerged that blended elements of psychology, folklore, and even urban legend. Investigators noted patterns resembling ritualistic behavior, a connection perhaps to age-old superstitions regarding the loss of one's hair as a symbolic sacrifice. In this context, the mysterious cuts took on an almost eerie significance, as if the act itself was a ceremonial offering to an unseen force. Interviews with descendants of eyewitnesses and long-held family accounts further enriched the narrative, offering fragmented insights into the community's long-muzzled fear and fascination. Every new theory was met with cautious optimism and an undercurrent of dread, as if the answer lay hidden in the intersection between empirical observation and mythic symbolism. Relentless pursuit of the truth led local authorities to re-examine old testimonies and re-evaluate physical evidence with emerging forensic techniques of the era. Despite their best efforts, the investigations only deepened the mystery. Over time, the serialized accounts of the Phantom Barber took on a life of its own, evolving into a case study in how society processes inexplicable events. Even as modern reasoning clashed with the unyielding allure of myth, each investigative angle contributed to a broader understanding of a phenomenon that defied both categorization and closure. Each inquiry and subsequent theory interwove the stark realities of wartime hardships with the surreal, almost dreamlike accounts of an unidentifiable menace. The town's collective uncertainty was mirrored in every investigative report, as observers struggled to balance logical scrutiny with an almost inevitable plunge into the realm of myth. Ultimately, the persistent ambiguity surrounding every detail served to intensify the legend, ensuring that the Phantom Barber would remain a subject of intrigue, debate, and timeless mystery. Thus, even decades later, questions persist, and the elusive truth undeniably inspires inquiry. Long after the events of the 1940s faded into history, the legend of the Phantom Barber continued to weave itself into the cultural tapestry of Pascagoula. The mysterious acts of midnight haircutting evolved from a series of baffling incidents into a storied myth embraced by locals and scholars alike. Over time, the tale took on a dual existence, residing in both factual recollections and the imaginative realm of folklore. residents would recount the somber curiosity of the events with a nostalgic reverence, painting a picture of a community forever altered by a single, unexplained phenomenon. The impact of the Phantom Barber extended well beyond the confines of a small town troubled by wartime anxieties. His spectral presence influenced local art, literature, and even informal community rituals, creating an enduring symbol of intrigue and caution. As new generations encountered the legend, they discovered that its power lay not in the terror it once induced, but in its ability to provoke thoughtful reflection about the interplay between fear and mystery. The story urged introspection on how legends are formed, suggesting that truth and myth often intermingle in the collective memory of a people. Today, the legacy of the Phantom Barber remains a poignant reminder of how a community confronts the unknown. His inexplicable visits serve as a metaphor for the unpredictable intrusions in life that leave an imprint on our hearts and minds. In the end, the tale of the Phantom Barber is more than a historical account. It is an echo of a time when fear and fascination danced together, leaving behind a mystery that persists in stimulating endless discussion and creative expression. The enduring myth of the Phantom Barber continues to inspire exploration, art, and collective memory across generations. Every retelling rekindles the mystery, ensuring the legend lives on eternally.